I'm Mike Byer at the Woodland Studio Apartments, which have become the scene of Lexington's 7th homicide of the year.
Firefighters are pushing for working smoke detectors after a great example of that possibly saving a man's life today.
Hundreds of people brave the cold to walk for a cure.
Hopefully one day there will be no MS.
Why these walkers are so passionate about finding a cure for multiple sclerosis.
This is WKYT News at 6.
Deadly shots fired near UK's campus. You're watching WKYT on the CW Lexington. I'm Kristen Kennedy. Early this morning, Lexington police say someone shot 2 men on Woodland Avenue. One of those men died at UK Hospital. WKYT's Mike Byer has the latest from police and our top story at 6.
If you don't think anything of it and something like this happens, it's going to start making me take a second thought.
Final exam week isn't the only thing on the minds of some University of Kentucky students. After a deadly shooting took place near campus early this morning, Ryan Greenwell and Christian Suarez say their main focus is being more cautious.
It's definitely a scary thing. It's definitely something to be aware about, concerned about.
Lexington police tell us 2 men were shot shortly after 2:30 this morning at the Woodland Studio Apartments located in the 500 block of Woodland Avenue. We've learned from the Fayette County coroner that 28-year-old James Gordon died from his injuries at UK Hospital. Police tell us Gordon was shot in the neck. We're told the other man, also in his 20s, was shot in the shoulder and has non-life-threatening injuries. This morning's shooting happened just steps away from the University of Kentucky campus, leaving some students on edge.
It's really scary because, it could have happened to anyone.
Even though freshman Mackenzie Deller says she's concerned about the shooting, she says she still feels safe on campus.
You always see, people walking around and, there's all the call button boxes if you need help.
When the shots were fired, we got a phone call about it and an email.
After the shooting happened, UK immediately sent out an urgent alert, something students say they really appreciate.
We're definitely made aware of the situation when it occurs and to stay clear of that area.
In Lexington, Mike Byer, WKYT.
The owner of the apartment complex says the people involved do not live there. The shooter police are looking for is about 5'11" with a heavy build, last seen wearing a yellow jacket. Also in Lexington this morning, an apartment fire seriously injured a man. Fire crews went out to the complex on Lima Drive around 8:30. They say the man injured didn't properly throw away a cigarette. WKYT's Caitlin Sentner explains what kept the fire and the man's injuries from being far worse.
I just think that somebody was cooking.
The sound of smoke detectors didn't faze Jamisha Rothwell at first.
I just kind of heard people rambling down the steps. So I went to the door and I could smell the smoke.
But what she saw startled her.
And you could just see the smoke rolling down the steps. And I just told my mom, get my daughter and just go. And I went back in and I got my nephew and my sister. And we all came out as one.
There were 2 men outside working on their car when they heard the smoke detectors go off. They thought it might have been coming from the hallway of the building.
Being curious, they went inside and managed to find the apartment that was upstairs, back to the left, apartment number 6, I believe, where they could hear the smoke detectors going off in earnest. So they pounded on the door for several minutes before the gentleman finally answered the door.
Firefighters say the fire started in a man's apartment on the upper level of the complex, trapping another man inside his unit until first responders arrived.
Come to find out after the fact that the gentleman had dropped a cigarette in his couch and had caught it on fire.
The man has some injuries. Everyone else was able to make it out to safety. Firefighters attribute that to the working smoke detectors inside the complex. They say it's hard to believe how many people don't have them.
You can't put a value on human life, and really for what it is, 10 or 15 bucks a smoke detector, it really, you can't just overstate its usefulness.
In Lexington, Caitlin Sentner, WKYT.
Firefighters say people living in 2 of the units have to find another place to stay tonight. We do not have the name of the man injured. We are tracking a developing story overseas. After nearly 3 weeks of searching, police in Belgium have arrested the man in the hat. He was the one seen in the Brussels airport during last month's attacks. Police say Mohamed Abrini walked beside the 2 suicide bombers at the airport. They say Abrini has confessed to being the vest and hat wearing man in the surveillance video. Prosecutors say Abrini threw away his vest in a garbage bin and sold his hat after the bombings. Earlier today, the family of the Lexington native killed in Brussels during the attack wrote a thank you letter to the community. Stephanie Schultz and her husband Justin were buried yesterday in Jessamine County. The family says, "We are so proud and grateful to our community, not just for the many prayers and support, but for stepping up and providing the help to ease the burden of the family in dealing with all the different tasks for the simple task of saying goodbye to our loved ones." We have their full letter on our website, WKYT.com. A woman wanted in connection with the murder of a former UK student and Texas dentist, Kendra Hatcher, has been arrested. The FBI says police detained 33-year-old Brenda Delgado in Mexico. She faces several charges, including capital murder for the death of Dr. Hatcher. Hatcher died last September in the parking garage of a Dallas apartment complex. Investigators say Delgado arranged the murder because she was jealous Hatcher was dating her ex-boyfriend and that her ex recently introduced Hatcher to his parents. Delgado is in Mexico City prison awaiting extradition. A 4-month-old infant is still in the hospital tonight. Police say her babysitter abused her. Nicholasville police have charged 34-year-old Erin Thompson with criminal abuse. They say she caused serious injuries to the infant. The baby girl is at Kentucky's Children's Hospital. And to help with the family with their bills, a Lexington restaurant is holding a fundraiser this weekend. 10% of sales at the SEC Sports Pub will go to the family. The owner says he will match the amount raised. The start of the weekend sure felt a lot more like a day in February than April. We even saw some snow flurries this morning. WKYT's Mike Linden is tracking some even colder temperatures tonight.
That's right, Kristen. Even though it will get a little colder as we head into the evening, things look good, at least from the inside looking out. We look across Kentucky. Most spots now getting a nice ending to our Saturday, the state capital, all the way to Breathitt County. While we are seeing some clouds, things do look pretty, but again, it does feel quite cold out there. These are the wind chill readings across the state, ranging from the mid-30s to the lower 40s across the state. How about 34 in Madison County, 33 in Covington? That is quite cold and abnormally cold for this time of year. We look to Defender, not really seeing very much in the realm of precipitation over Kentucky. What you're mainly seeing there are just some low-hanging clouds. There is still some snow, though, to our northeast, close to the Ohio-West Virginia line, close to Parkersburg. And once again, with cold temperatures sticking around, a freeze warning is with us through the evening and into Sunday morning. That darker blue color, a hard freeze warning as we head into the start of the work week. But we will, Kristen, get a slight bump in the temperatures as we work our way closer to normal. I'll show you when we get closer to normal coming up in about 10 minutes.
Mike Walker's braved the cold and those flurries this morning for the annual Walk Multiple Sclerosis event in Lexington. Mayor Jim Gray kicked off this year's walk at the Bluegrass Fairgrounds inside Masterson Station Park. WKYT's Sabira Rayford walked too.
For nearly 20 years, Betty Robinson has walked to find a cure for multiple sclerosis.
So many people have it and don't realize the impact it has on families and friends, and it can be a very devastating disease.
The walk started in 1989, and nationally it's grown from 40 walks to 550. But for some people here today living with MS, they have no plans of slowing down.
Every day, you never know what's going to happen.
Betty has been living with MS since 1998, and she's not alone in her fight for a cure. Shortly after being diagnosed, she and her best friend started Betty's Buddies, and since then, they've never missed a walk.
She is strong and healthy right now, and she keeps going, and as long as she keeps going, we're going to be here for her.
Thank you.
Betty does have good days, but some are an uphill battle.
Most days I'm in pretty good shape. As the day goes on, I get more and more tired. The hot weather affects me. I can't do things I used to do.
But she can walk, and for Betty, that's enough to make a difference.
I'd like to get a cure for it, and my friends and family are here to help support that, and hopefully one day there will be no MS.
In Lexington, Sabira Rayford, WKYT.
Walk MS Lexington hopes to raise $60,000. Still to come on WKYT News on the CW Lexington. It feels like winter, but a group of volunteers is making Lexington look like spring.
Clark County leads the state in registered organ donors.
We know how important it is to try to help others.
Meet 2 organ recipients who are thankful for their county's push for more donors.
It definitely got me where I am today.
Asking for organs, Monday at 6 on WKYT.
Welcome to Carpet One. Visit our area rug showroom featuring 400 room-size area rugs. While you're here, check out our in-stock rolls and remnants and save over 50% off carpet and vinyl. Carpet One has it all, and we have it in stock. Come see us.
Eyeglass World salutes Angie, who just finagled a first-class ticket for the price of Coach. She also gets amazing deals at Eyeglass World. Like right now at our Christian Siriano sale. This month only, get 2 pairs of Christian Siriano designer glasses for $99.95. But hurry, this incredible deal is only good through April 30th. The Christian Siriano sale, only at Eyeglass World. See yourself smile, see yourself save.
As consumers who pay our insurance premiums on time, we assume that our homeowners, auto, and business claims will be properly evaluated and paid in good faith by our own insurance companies. Yet, many times we find that's not the case. The reason is simple. Insurance companies are in business to make a profit. If you believe that your claim has been underpaid or denied, or if you'd just like us to review it before taking their final offer, call us or visit forthepeople.com. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Hello, I'm Rob Bromley, inviting WKYT TV viewers on the vacation of your dreams, a land and cruise tour of Alaska, August 5th to the 18th. We'll stay near Denali National Park and watch for wildlife on a guided park tour. Our vacation includes Anchorage, Fairbanks, the White Pass and Yukon train, and a 4-night Holland America cruise through Glacier Bay and the Inside Passage. For more information, call Holiday Vacations, 1-800-826-2266.
You think you've got a good answer? Name something in the bedroom you hope doesn't get broken while making whoopee.
Oh, y'all want to knock over that lamp?
I knocked that lamp off. I thought a fire up in here.
Family Feud, 1 full hour starting at 7 on the CW Lexington. Have something that needs investigating? Email us or call the WKYT Investigates tip line. Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with Mike Linden.
Certainly been an active, odd start to the month of April and into the first full weekend of the month. Well, things have not been so great. We are tracking what's not only abnormal for this time of year weather-wise, but temperature-wise too. On Defender right now, not seeing much of it anymore in Kentucky, but you can see some snow flurries toward the Ashland area, more so along the Ohio-West Virginia line. We did see some incredible pictures this morning out of southeastern and eastern Kentucky with a coating of snow on the ground. It looked more like a February morning than an April one. But this is pretty typical that you would expect to find really anytime you get northerly winds and cold air. A freeze warning in effect as we head into your Sunday. Much like this morning, any spot in this blue overlay here will be running at or below freezing up until about 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. This darker blue color, which does include Pulaski County, Laurel County, and even as north as Montgomery and Rowan counties, that is a hard freeze warning with temperatures likely not only below freezing but more so in the upper 20s as we head into the evening hours. On this map here, you can really see that deep blue color, that being the coldest air from the north. That's working its way pretty far south, all the way into spots of Virginia and even into North Carolina. Just goes to show you that this front that passed by Friday that brought us those incredibly strong winds, look at how that is pulling in that northerly flowing air, and that's what you need to enhance the cold temperatures, let alone the lack of cloud cover. If you have winds from the north, that's going to make things feel colder rather than the comfortable air coming in from the south and southwest. Right now, most spots sitting in the mid-30s with that wind chill, not too comfortable as we work our way through the evening hours. But as we get into tomorrow, a nice little bump up in our temperatures thanks to some southwesterly flowing winds. Check this out on your hour by hour. We'll see those temperatures work our way into the evening hours, falling into the 20s, but then with some cloud cover, we get some improvement. Most spots above freezing as we get close to the middle of the day tomorrow. But it's all a trade-off. Not only will those temperatures warm up just a little bit, mild air works its way back into the region, but it looks like we get back to some active weather in the form of potential showers and possibly even some thunderstorms for Monday afternoon. Tuesday has a very similar look as well. That's all due to that switch from the northerly flowing winds to the winds coming in from the south and southwest. Once we get past Monday, Tuesday, though, another shot there on Wednesday for a freeze warning as we head into the early morning hours there, Kristen. But after that, it looks like a big change a lot of people have been waiting for. Temperatures not only back to normal by next weekend, but potentially even getting back into the 70s.
Are they going to stay there? That's the big question.
That is certainly the big question. It really looks like the pattern is switching in a large way. So it's just one more week here before we get finally to spring.
Thank you, Mike. Dozens of people weren't letting today's winter-like weather keep them from making it look like spring in Lexington. For the 18th year, volunteers participated in the event Reforest the Bluegrass. They planted about 7,000 seedlings in Fayette County. Lexington Natural Resources Program Manager John Saylor says the event helps produce a number of microforests in the Lexington area.
We've had probably 200 to 300 volunteers that came out to plant this basin. So that's a testament to how people they take ownership of this program, Reforest the Bluegrass.
Since 1999, more than 15,000 volunteers have restored 180 acres in Fayette County. They've planted approximately 128,000 native tree seedlings. Lee Kay's in next with sports, and we are less than a month away from the Kentucky Derby.
We are in the thick of horse racing season, and there were several big Kentucky Derby prep races today, including the Toyota Bluegrass Stakes that just wrapped up moments ago. And a pair of future Wildcats took on the world this afternoon. I'll explain next in sports.
If you are in a car accident and searching for a lawyer, you need to ask that lawyer 3 questions. 1, have you practiced law in Kentucky your entire legal career? 2, have you recently tried a case in a Kentucky courtroom? And 3, have over a dozen of the nation's largest insurance companies retain you to try their cases? At Golden Law Office, we can answer yes to all these questions. Put our inside knowledge to work for you. Call us today for a free consultation.
We all want to live healthier lives. It's only natural. Your body is a product of nature. Why would you nurture it with anything else? Just like your body, our vitamins, minerals, and herbs are grown from nature. And with all our products and advice, we have something for everything under the sun. We'll make sure you get everything you need, nothing you don't. All from nature herself. Robert's Health Foods, 1020 Industry Road, Lexington. You'll want to come see us. It's only natural.
Of all the things we could do today, a world of wonder would lead the way. For me and you, it's a special day. We'll touch living things, discover even more, a place to play and explore, explore. Just me and you and a whole new world.
See, touch, explore together at Newport Aquarium.
Think you might be pregnant? No judgment, no pressure, just help. AssuranceCare.org.
With your local electric cooperative's Simple Saver program, you save energy, the environment, and get at least $30 in free energy bill credits. Just sign up and we do all the work. It's just that easy. Simple Saver. Sign up and save. 1-800-305-5493. SimpleSaver.coop. Bluegrass Energy and Inter-County Energy. Your Touchstone Energy cooperatives.
Get weather plus traffic with a WKYT weather app. Have the Defender Radar Network in the palm of your hand while checking your driving conditions for your commute on the same screen. Weather plus traffic on the WKYT weather app.
One month out from the Kentucky Derby, and today we get a much clearer picture of what the Derby field will look like with a trio of Grade 1 prep races, including the $1 million Bluegrass Stakes out at Keeneland. To fill the 14 going the mile and an eighth,
Brody's
Kurt
Cause
Becker has
just
the call.
keeps grinding away. Cherry Wine is running late on the outside. Brody's Cause at the 16th pole, chased by Cherry Wine. My man Sam running huge from last, but Brody's Cause in front. Brody's Cause for Luis Saez to win the Toyota Bluegrass.
Brody's Cause for trainer Dale Romans takes it a photo finish for second. It's My Man Sam edging Cherry Wine. All 3 horses likely now pointed at the Kentucky Derby. A field of 8 going to post at the Wood Memorial in New York. Outwork the favorite going to the post. Larry Colmus brings him down the stretch.
Shagaf is trying to come and get them. Tale of Saval is running a big one, and Adventus is closing through an opening on the inside into the final furlong. It is Outwork in front. Adventus trying to go for an upset up the rail. It is Outwork and Adventist. 1-2. They will decide the Wood Memorial. Outwork and Adventist. Here's the wire. Outwork and Adventist. Bob heads under the wire in the wood. And then
So it's the favorite Outwork winning by a nose, but it was actually 81 to 1 shot Trojan Nation, not Adventist, that was with him there on the rail and finished second. A week from today, it's the blue-white game for UK football. This morning, the Wildcats scrimmaging inside the stadium. This one was close to the public. It was not a good day, though, for the offensive side of the ball. Offensive coordinator Eddie Grand called it an absolutely awful day for Mark Stoops. It looked too much like what he saw in 2015.
I was disappointed for the first time all spring with just the mentality of our offense. I don't know, it was cold out here, windy, but there's no excuse. It just was not up to par.
Yeah, it is very frustrating because, we showed a lot of inconsistency last year. For the first 10 practices this year, we've been really consistent, and, have a day like today that kind of went back to kind of where we were at last year, and we don't want that.
Kentucky baseball has won every SEC series so far this season, but up until last night, the Wildcats had not won the first game of a series in league play. Today, Kentucky with a chance to win the series, hosting Alabama. The score was tied at 1 apiece in the 8th. Cole Cottom doing his Masters impersonation, golfs one towards short for the infield single. That scores Luke Becker for the go-ahead run. Same score in the top of the 9th. Alabama's Will Haney ties things up with one swing of the bat. Solo shot that carries over the left field wall, tied it 2-2. Kentucky would load up the bases in the bottom half. With one out, Riley Mahan makes it a grand day. That is a walk-off grand slam for Mahan to win the series. A 4th straight series win for Kentucky. 6-2 the final in this one. The Wildcats will play for the series sweep on Sunday. Some of the top high school talent from around the globe was in Portland today for the Nike Hoop Summit, including 2 future Wildcats, point guard De'Aaron Fox and forward Winyan Gabriel, both playing for the USA Select team, taking on the World team. Fox was a little quiet at the McDonald's All-American game last week, but he stood out today. The steal and the dunk to put the U.S. up 10-0. After the timeout, Fox showing off that end-to-end speed. That's why they're comparing him to John Wall. Second half, U.S. up big. UK target Marquise Bolden also playing for the Team USA. Believed to be choosing between Kentucky and Duke. Fox setting him up for the easy dunk. Gabriel got one in late. Here with the catch and the dunk. The USA wins big, 101-67. Last night's college basketball awards ceremony only confirmed what most of us already know. Tyler Ulis was the best point guard in America last season. Ulis received the Bob Cousy Award on Friday night. He set the single-season Kentucky record for assists, averaging 7 a game to go with 17 points per game. He said that there was a moment during the season when he realized his importance to this team.
Around the middle of the year when, I started playing a lot better, starting shooting the ball a lot better, and, our team started clicking. And, once we started winning games, it started being a lot more fun.
And it was a lot of fun watching Tyler Ulis play basketball this year.
He just looks so excited to be receiving that award, too.
Absolutely.
We'll be right back with a final look at weather.
Fall in love with your yard this season. At Landscapers Corner, you will find Triple Crown Elite Grass Seed, deemed the best grass seed for our area. Available in 5, 25, and 50-pound bags. In addition to our grass seed, we also have a variety of mulches, soil amendments, bale pine needles, fertilizers, hollytone, and trafland for your fall projects. Delivery service is available on select items. We offer premium products at affordable prices. Shop now at Landscapers Corner.
I love Spain. This food, the wine, the tapas. I want to stay here forever.
Well, we're not in Spain. We're home.
I know, but this food is so delicious. And those authentic ingredients and easy recipes from the Kroger Taste of Spain event really put me in a Spanish state of mind.
It's like a Spaincation.
Head to Kroger for authentic recipes, specially imported foods, and delicious meal ideas at the Taste of Spain event. Great food, low prices at Kroger.
Now, during our Off to the Races sale, call us here at America's Window for high-performance Energy Star approved windows that will give your home an energy upgrade. And take advantage of our Off to the Races sale. Save up to 20% on new windows. Ask about zero down and zero interest options for 12 months. Act now and receive a $500 discount certificate good towards your next purchase. Pick up the phone and call during our Off to the Races sale.
When you slip and hurt yourself at a business, we find that oftentimes these stores have a history of being dirty. Think about the dirtiest store you know, and we're probably thinking of the same one. If you slip and fall and hurt yourself, do two things. Take a picture of the accident scene and request in writing the videotape from the store. If they don't give you the videotape, that letter will be a great advantage should your case go to trial. Visit forthepeople.com for more information. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
It's time to wake up. You've got things to do, mouths to feed, work to get done. It's another Kentucky morning, and Kentucky mornings start here.
Good morning, I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Rebecca Smith.
You don't have time to waste, so we don't waste your time. Simple as that. Breaking and overnight news, weather to plan your day, plus traffic you can take with you. Make WKYT This Morning part of your Kentucky morning. Weekdays from 4:30 to 7 on WKYT.
Why the charade? To give people hope, Detective. Hope. So I could rip it away from them. You just don't care. How many people you kill? No, I don't.
His real name is Hunter Solomon.
He's a convicted serial killer. I'm faster than I've ever been. I can take him down. You can lock up the darkness.
Tonight's Powerball jackpot is $168 million, and Tuesday night's Mega Millions jackpot is $72 million. I'm just focused on that warm-up at the end of the week.
You know, a lot of people, I think, are focused on when it's going to feel a little bit more like spring. If you went to Keeneland yesterday or today, you probably didn't feel much like the spring meet at all. It's always a good time at the races, but it really didn't feel much like spring today or yesterday. A little bit of an improvement the next few days here. That's due to the winds shifting to the south and southwest, but in the world of weather, it's always a trade-off. We'll get back to some active weather, potentially some showers and thunderstorms tomorrow and Monday, but then things finally, slowly but surely, Kristen and Lee, begin to warm up a little bit.
Looks like next week at Keeneland is going to be beautiful.
Back to
if
the
that's
70s.
Yeah, that's, I'll be out there then.
There you go.
Well, thanks for joining us right here on the CW Lexington. Have a good night.